the different Atma Pramanas, the Shastra Pramanas, the Apta Pramanas, or the Shastras, the scriptures of Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara, as well as the references in the Hindu scriptures, and of course the references, significance in the life of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. Venkateshwara is one of the most powerful modern day incarnations who happened in the Kali Yuga. Mahavishnu came down as Sheshadri Swamigal, and Bhudevi took birth as Padmavati, and they got married and stayed in the planet Earth with the body for at least 200 years and created a beautiful kingdom, blessing the devotees with wealth, health, and all the auspicious things. He decided to stand in Tirumala, making himself available to all the devotees. Venkateshwara just became a deity. The very body, how he is standing, he just became the Archavatar. And the Archavatar means the incarnation in the form of the deity to receive all the worship and devotion of the devotees. And Srinivasa became the Archavatara, standing in Tirumala and gracing the whole world, the whole universe, showering wealth, health, and all the spiritual benefits. Venkateshwara has Sri Devi Mahalakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, within his chest. And this is one of the beautiful attributes of Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara among so many different characteristics, whether it is his compassion, whether it is his giving attitude, everything is such a beautiful attribute of Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara. One very unique thing is the Vaidurya jewel of Venkateshwara. There's one jewel where Bhagavan Venkateshwara is wearing, which is still not able to be signified with any value. So on Venkateshwara's right chest, he is having the world's costliest jewel. He wears it on the Vaikuntha Ekadasi day, on the Srivatsam, and that jewelry is called Vaidurya. That until today has not found any kind of value, meaning that it is still not able to place how much it is worth, because it is that priceless of a jewel. The great saint and enlightened master Ramanuja had a very beautiful teaching and was a great devotee of Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara. He was once staying for many days in the Tirumala Tirupati temple, and he had gone with the devotees to the top of the hill and was doing this pilgrimage to the Venkateshwara Tirumala Tirupati temple. After going to the top of the hill, the devotees wanted to enjoy some of the food that they got along after being very hungry after a huge journey. So they had found some ants in their food, but Ramanuja immediately stopped them from killing the ants and packed all of the food away again with the ants inside of it and went straight back up the hill. Ramanujacharya had then let go of the food in the hilltops where the Tirumala Tirupati temple is. And he told the devotees, we don't know how many janmas all of these different ants had been waiting in order to receive the punya of Sri Venkateshwara. That is just a beautiful story of the glory of Sri Venkateshwara and how he is revered. In the Brahmanda Purana, it contains the Sri Venkateshwara Sahasranam, which also occurs as the conversations between the sage Vashishta and sage Narada. And the translation says that in the Krita Yuga, the Lord Narasimha, in the Treta Yuga, Lord Sri Rama, in the Dwapara Yuga, Lord Sri Krishna, and in the Kali Yuga, Sri Venkateshwara are all the incarnations of Bhagavan Vishnu. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself has a deep, powerful connection to Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara. In fact, Venkateshwara is a very muscle memory of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. If you do not know, muscle memory is the layer within inside of you, which contains all of your physical habits, whether it is how you walk, the gait, your grace, everything is stored inside of your muscle memory. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has a very significant connection to Venkateshwara, having been literally fed the prasadam of Venkateshwara in the very first days initial days when he was conceived and he was in the biological mother of the Supreme Pontiff, had announced that she was carrying. And there are so many benefits of worshipping Bhagwan Sri Venkateshwara. Today, in this darshan, Bhagwan Sri Venkateshwara is manifesting through the Nijavatara, the living incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. You can receive the blessings and initiation to awaken the wealth consciousness in you today just through this divine darshan. So now let us get into the concept of wealth in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. There are two dimensions of wealth, Shankanidhi and Padmanidhi. Shankanidhi means conquered wealth, conquered from natural resources. Padmanidhi means flowered wealth, like a lotus, created. Padmanidhi is made to flower from natural resources. So these are the two dimensions of wealth creation in the Vedic tradition. And also there are two major gods who are representing wealth, Kubera and Lakshmi. Kubera hoards wealth, hoards and on the wealth, and is representative of the treasury and the stock market. Kubera enjoys a subtle power that is holding wealth. Lakshmi can bring wealth and represents the flowering, circulating, and current wealth. Lakshmi uses wealth to enrich herself and the world. Lakshmi creates wealth effortlessly, uses it freely, and yes. So now let us get into the wealth creation in the Hindu way, how you can manifest wealth. Let us understand the powerful cognitions behind wealth. And first, before doing that, let's first break down how we are now understanding wealth. What is it that we see wealth? First of all, understand that life can be equated to two things. One is the ability to achieve what you want in the inner and outer world. And two, just getting stuck in both worlds. There are only these two equations. We never have a downside, we never have an upside. It is only these two things. One is the ability to achieve what you want in the inner and the outer world, and two is just getting stuck, running riot, and not being able to be successful in either. Everybody wants wealth, but they do not increase the wealth and the life in them to the level that they want to be equated to the life energy you express. It is a straight question because as on now, a normal man has wealth as the first priority in life. So if you do not have wealth, don't blame anybody. You are not expressing life in you. Life energy is not happening in you. Well, this might be seeming harsh, that you might feel that you are having that life energy inside of you. Just take a few moments and see. For the amount of wealth that you feel that you want to have and the amount of activism in your life that you need to create that wealth, are we really aligning these two? Life energy itself is powerful enough to generate the wealth that you want. Creating wealth is an intrinsic part of your life. Krishna says very beautifully in the Gita, Gahano karmano gatihi, meaning the universe by its nature works, works, and works. If you have at least the goal of creating wealth, you will be creative. Your energy will be channeled properly. The first priority in life should be for moksha, and the second, until the enlightenment happens, it is creating wealth. Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we have a beautiful science for how you should achieve this. Creating wealth makes you non-violent. It makes your whole energy become creative. Creating wealth becomes tremendous interest, brings tremendous interest in life and non-violence. And wealth is not just an object or a thing to be achieved. Wealth is the very extension of you. Anything that adds to you is wealth. The quality of the health you enjoy, the state of your relationship, the fulfillment you experience in your career, your mental state, everything is wealth. Wealth is not just money or currency. First, money is one wealth. Second is currency, is another kind of wealth. The assets that you have, all of that is another kind of wealth. Being alive, having activism, and being a workaholic, being alive, energetic every single moment, that is also one wealth. All the four parts put together, everything, that is called wealth consciousness. Wealth consciousness means making a clear decision to break out of the myths and mental patterns that literally impoverish us and draw us again and again into a poverty cycle. And you don't manifest your desire, you manifest your cognition, what you cognize and perceive as reality. You don't have to manifest your desire, you will only manifest what you believe. We never manifest what we want. This is a fundamental cognition that we have to really understand. You manifest what you believe, not what you desire. So deep inside of us, we have to change our fundamental belief. Many of us say, I really desire wealth, but deep down we believe that wealthy people are arrogant people, bad people. They do a lot of wrong things. If you believe that wealthy people are arrogant, bad, wrong, they do many things, and they exploit others, if you have that belief, how are you going to manifest wealth in your life? And your perception is the material out of which your reality is made. Just like a fabric that you make clothes out of. The very fabric, if you have that, then you cannot complain later that you don't like the material. You have to change the fabric that is there in the first place. If you desire wealth, you believe, perceive, cognize wealthy people are bad, or wealth is too much responsibility, naturally you will not manifest wealth in your life. So let us now look at all the beliefs that you carry about wealth. Let's give us a breakdown. And if you want, you can start to write, take ideas from what we are telling you, and you can see what all are your own cognitions. Deep down, truly internalize. Take a few minutes right now, grab a notebook and a pen, and do this exercise and see what are really the cognitions that you have about wealth. I promise you that if you do this just for 15 minutes and just analyze inside of yourself, and you start this process of deeply questioning your fundamental core beliefs, you will see how it starts a shift in you. Wealthy people are arrogant people, bad people. This is one of the common misconceptions that each and every one of us have. And it starts from a very young age. We all carry a deep resistance of wealth, leading to not accumulating wealth. And even if we accumulate it, we certainly just simply lose it. The truth is that arrogance does not come by wealth. Arrogant people will be arrogant whether they have wealth or not. Arrogant, of course, meaning that you feel that you're more important, or you feel that you're known more than other people as well. But if we wrongly associate wealth to arrogance, we start to create a pattern. And then we start to hate wealth as well, the same way that we hate arrogance. Another common misconception that we might have is that poverty is good. Deep inside of us, we label poverty as a good quality. We feel reverence and respect for poverty. But how then, if we create this inside of us, could we generate wealth? Could we generate how much wealth we want in life, how we want to live our lives luxuriously when we think that poverty is good? In many streams of society, poverty consciousness and feeling impoverished is seen as something good. And many of us feel that as humbleness. But often our arrogance and attachment to that mentality makes us more and more more and more impoverished and help and makes us suffer more and more in our life. Finally, we have another here common misconception, which is that handling wealth is more responsibility. We may feel uncomfortable. We may not feel ready to take on the responsibility that comes with wealth. We always see wealthy people have so many problems, have no time to do what they want. And that is always something that we have to break inside of us. Understand that we also sometimes even think that making money is a sin. The truth is that you have to create as much wealth as you can, celebrate it, share it. Wealth consciousness is a highly creative way of doing that. And some of us even think that you have to be worthy of it. Wealth serves those who are wealthy in their very consciousness. That is the fundamental truth. There is nothing about worth or not. In the whole universe itself, there is nothing worthy. Yes. So we always have to understand anything you cognize, you create a certain energy field about your cognition. You attract situations, people, everything around you to make that cognition into reality. All you need is will persistence. Your decision, you are not going to give up your intention, is will persistence. And your mental patterns goes on affecting you, but you always tell, I'm too busy to repair myself. It is like sitting in a broken car and going on rotating that, handling or pushing and pulling the gears, doing whatever you want. You're not going to move 1 inch. And if somebody says, why don't you repair you think, oh, no, I am too busy to repair. I can't get down now and repair because I'm hurriedly going to someplace. Understand how ridiculous this sounds. You're sitting in a broken car. The first thing you have to do is get out, examine the situation, and you may be desiring wealth, but you may not be believing or perceiving and cognizing it as your possibility. The first and foremost important step we need to do is creating an energy field of attracting wealth. Yes, and who better to be able to do this than with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has literally given us the sacred secret, the cognition. Just by listening, you can shift everything inside of you and have a breakthrough in your wealth consciousness today. I know that there are so many people out there who are waiting to have that breakthrough in wealth consciousness. So let's now watch beautiful satsang where Swamiji himself delivers.